Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, November the 3rd, 2023. Friday, November the 3rd. Well, look, I'm just jumping right on in. Adam is going to stage an coincidental meeting. Um, he's having the doctor, you know, just happened to come over to the table to say hi. He's going to ask them to see, yeah, whatever, right? But he tells Nick, and he goes, I really would like you involved. And Nick is like, is this your play? Is this your power move to try to? He goes, Nick, I don't care what you think, but that is my father, and I'm concerned about my father. And he needs help. Earlier in the office today, he was still talking about how he's merging Kirsten Unlimited with Newman Media. And Nick looked at him. He said that. He goes, he said that. There's something seriously wrong, Nick. He goes, you all just want to cut me out every chance you get. Because I've always got these ulterior motives. He says, but I was good enough to give a kidney to your daughter. And he looked at Nick and Nick said, I remember that. I remember that. Not even in a, you know what, you're right, brother, because my child would be dead, possibly, had you not done that. Okay. And look, everybody, not even just the kidney. Remember, Faith was drunk driving a pickup truck, got in an accident on a road outside of town, and it was Adam who was on the run himself. Adam took her to the hospital and left her in the emergency room. He saved Faith's life twice, twice, and yet he still can't do no right. And then he goes, and you know what? I took a bullet from my father, still got the scar. I guess that don't matter. He goes, yeah. And then you also altered with his medication that could have killed him. He said, I was a different person then. But I have gone through great personal links for this family, and you still don't accept me. He said, look, Nick, you don't have to. And he goes, yeah, but he goes, look, you think I have these ulterior motives? Come to the meeting with me. This way you can monitor what the doctor says to our father. You can monitor dad's reactions, and you can see for yourself. So Nick, yeah, all right, I'll go. Right. So he says, Dad is supposed to meet me. I think it was Society he was supposed to meet him at. Was it Society? Let me think. It may have been the Jazz. No, the Jazz Lounge would have been, you know what? I didn't care. So let's say Society. And no, it was GCAC because the person took Victor's coat for him when he came through the turnstile. That's exactly what it was. And Victor goes, well, my, what are my two boys doing here? And so um, Victor sits down, and because he told Adam he wanted to talk to him, about some plans for Kirsten, right? And so Adam says, Dad, Nick, I just invited Nick to join us. And he goes, well, look, is this some kind of power move you got going on? And Adam says, no, Dad. So Nicholas looks at Victor, looks at Adam, and says, Adam scheduled the psychiatrist he's been speaking to behind your back to accidentally bump into us. So he could kind of evaluate you without you knowing. And Adam looked at Nicholas like, wait, what? Why would you tell him that way? And so Nicholas says, I told him that it was a bad idea. So anyway, that's Nick. See, that's why you don't let none of them Newmans, from Victoria to Vicky to none of them, to Nikki to none of them, get involved, Adam. Just do it yourself, right? Nick is a hot mess. So then we have, it's all about Ash. You know what? I do not like Ashley's character at all. Don't like her character, not one little bit. You know, just ugh. She sits down first of all, and she's flippant. Hi, Tucker. And he looks at her. Hi. Oh, is that the best you got? And he's like, what are you talking about? I mean, for everything that we have gone through, over the years, we should be able to sit down and be cordial and possibly be friends. And he goes, be friends? Why would we be friends? Like I said, we have a history. I have apologized for my part in Paris. And Tucker looked at her and he goes, okay. And she says, and something about, him taking responsibility for what he did to, and he goes, you know what? Like, we've already talked about that. We've already, no, Tucker, no. He goes, you pulled the rug right out from under me, Ashley. And she goes, you were despicable in Paris, the way you spoke to me. And he just looked like, oh my God, are you kidding me? He goes, really, really, yes, despicable. You scared me. And he's like, scared you so much that you sitting here right now, scared you so much you came to my hotel. Come on, Ashley. And he goes, you know what? By the way, you're going to be contacted by my attorney because I'm having our marriage annulled. And she kind of looked down, she looked at him, she goes, oh, annulled. He goes, yeah, it needed to be fast and clean, annulled. So she goes, well, okay, well, at least you saved me the hassle of doing it myself. And he says, so now that whole sham is done, right? So then she says some other stuff, and he goes, you know what? He didn't even want, cause she goes, I mean, I just want, how are you? What's going on? What are you planning? And he goes, no, no, really, what you want to know if I'm planning an attack on your family. So she goes, well, are you? And he's like, I wouldn't tell you if I was. No. He's like, no. And she the way he said it, you knew it wasn't genuine at all. So she says, it wouldn't be unlike you too. And pretty much he ended the conversation. And he's just like, I don't even want to be around you, talk to you. And he gets up, and as he walks away, she gets this little sad look on her face, like, I really did like him. Or I'm really gonna miss our little romps in the hay. But he, on the other hand, he walks outside of society, and that man broke down. Oh, he had to turn towards the wall and was crying. Tucker oh my God. I felt for him. I felt for him. I was like, man, they're actually showing his vulnerability. She's the only one that could just cut like a knife, slit him clean open, right? So he's so mad, he tells Kyle he wants to see him. And meanwhile, Billy is talking to Jack. No, Jack comes home. Billy came over to talk to Kyle. And he says, I wanted to talk to you, Kyle, in person, privately. And he told him, he said, I know you outwardly are demanding to get my job back, my job. And Kyle says, well, it used to be mine. I was the co-CEO. He goes, you used to have the job and you walked away from it. I walked away to work with my wife. Wait, Billy's like, whatever reason you walked away. And now I've stepped in. And he goes, but then when me and my wife, split up, Dad decided he was gonna yank the rug right from under me and give it to Summer. And Billy said, do you hear yourself? Marquetti was her company. We only have it because of Summer, not you, Kyle. And he's just like, he says, see, you're entitled and you act like a spoiled brat. Oh, really? Oh, really? Do it. Yes. Oh, really? Yes, you do. You feel like you could just come around now and go from one to another and make demands on a job and a position that's filled by me. Well, rightfully, Jabot, rightfully the position, he goes, and from what I'm hearing, Jack offered you the COO position. That's a made up. Jabot hasn't had a COO in years. And so Billy said, it's still a legitimate position and it's still a respected job. But see, you're too ungrateful to even accept that. And Billy says, talk about birthright. I am John Abbott's son. This is our father's company. Right? And Kyle just looks at him and Kyle says, you know what? And he told me, he goes, what you are doing to your father is unfair. And it's putting a lot of pressure and stress on him. So Kyle says, you know what, Billy, you're right. I have been acting like a spoiled brat. And I have put my father in a unfavorable position or a tough spot. He says, so you know what? I gonna back off because I don't want my father to be in that position. I'm no longer gonna go after the CEO position. And Billy looked at him. Oh, just like that, Kyle. Kyle standing up. He goes, yeah, just like that. So Jack comes in. What's going on here? And Kyle says, well, Billy said that I have been acting entitled, and like a spoiled brat, and that I have put you in a what do you want to call it? Not a bad situation. There's another word. I think I just used it a minute ago. A situation, like a tough spot. So I don't want you to be in that spot. I do want to support you, Dad. So therefore, I just told Billy I no longer am going to be going after the CEO position. And Jack says, look, the COO position is yours if you want it. And he goes, Dad, that position hasn't been around in years. And Jack said, nonetheless, it's a position. and it's an executive position. Kyle says, nope, I'm going to find my own way. And I've got some irons in the fire I'm working on. And I don't need a COO position. So he goes, and Dad, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the position. It was very unfair of me to put you in that. And he goes, well, thank you for saying that, Kyle. I'm thinking gullible Jack. Gullible, duh, duh, you know. So Kyle leaves and Billy is talking to Jack. He goes, Jack, I don't think Kyle is being sincere. And Jack is like, well, what do you mean? He goes, Jack, just an hour ago, he was absolutely going after the CEO position and making his intentions known. After a 10-minute conversation from me, he's seen the light, Jack. No, I'm not buying it. And Ashley comes in, not buying what? And so Billy tells her, or Jack says, like, Billy doesn't think Kyle is being sincere. He goes, being sincere about what? And so they tell her. And so he goes, no. He goes, I believe Tucker may have gotten to Kyle, Jack. And he goes, Tucker? What would Tucker want with Kyle? He said, Tucker needs someone from the inside. And Billy should have said, you know, that's how he operates, Ashley, because that's what you guys were doing to me. And right now, Kyle is upset and he can't fall prey to that. And so Ashley's like, you know what? I just came from speaking with Tucker. And he's very upset. I absolutely think he is coming after Jabot, but I couldn't get him to open up to me. So Kyle would be a logical move for him. So so Jack said, because need I remind you, he's seen Audra Childs. And Audra, and so Ashley says, and Audra and Tucker are close. They are always working together. And Jack was like, kind of like, huh? Not Kyle. Forgetting that Kyle worked with Victor from time to time, right? And he'll do it again. That's Kyle. Because he don't get what he wants. That's Kyle. So anyway, nothing else is. I mean, Young and the Restless is really boring. It's a hot mess shame when the best storyline you could come up with is a storyline where Victor's pretending like he don't have his memory and doing a horrible job of it, I may ask. Aria and Tessa's baby, I mean Mariah and Tessa's baby Aria, got her hearing aids in, and she's actually able to hear something. So they're very, very happy. And I'm telling you, hearing aids have come a long way because I didn't see not one thing in her ear. But look, she is a baby actress. They probably really couldn't put nothing in her ear that she was going to leave in there, right? So we had to imaginary think those hearing aids were in there. But good, you know. But that's the only other thing that was going on. So let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. Martha says, no, it was Drew Seller who met Devon first. I don't know who's Drew Seller. Oh, do you mean Drusilla? It was Drusilla that met Devon first, did she? I would really like to see if I could see an old episode on how they met Devon. I really would like to see that. Monique said, glad Adam reminded Nick what he did for his daughter. I wish Adam would have said to Nick, since your family, since you're about family, why didn't you give Faith your own kidney? I know, well, they weren't a match, but you know, his brother that he can't stand, that he don't trust, that he, come on. He's a match, and now let's do this. So anyway, everybody, that's comments from Comment Corner. I will be back tomorrow with actually Monday with another recap of The Young and the Restless. Somehow I don't think it's going to be that good because the story is moving way too slow, and it's pointless, and it's a meaningless storyline with Victor. So anyway, I will be back. Have a great weekend.